From this video, we will share free HPE6-A84 real questions for Aruba Certified Network Security Expert written exam. 1. You are designing an Aruba ClearPass Policy Manager (CPPM) solution for a customer. You learn that the customer has a Palo Alto firewall that filters traffic between clients in the campus and the data center. Which integration can you suggest? A. Sending syslogs from the firewall to CPPM to signal CPPM to change the authentication status for misbehaving clients. B. Importing clients' MAC addresses to configure known clients for MAC authentication more quickly. C. Establishing a double layer of authentication at both the campus edge and the data center DMZ. D. Importing the firewall's rules to program downloadable user roles for AOSCX switches more quickly. Answer. A. 2. A company has Aruba gateways and wants to start implementing gateway IDs, IPS. The customer has selected block for the fail strategy. What might you recommend to help minimize unexpected outages caused by using this particular fall strategy? A. Configuring a relatively high threshold for the gateway threat count alerts. B. Making sure that the gateways have formed a cluster and operate in default gateway mode. C. Setting the IDs or IPS policy to the least restrictive option, lenient. D. Enabling alerts and email notifications for events related to gateway IPS engine utilization and errors. Answer. B. 3. A company has Aruba gateways that are implementing gateway IDs, IPS in IDs mode. The customer complains that admins are receiving too frequent of repeat email notifications for the same threat. The threat itself might be one that the admins should investigate, but the customer does not want the email notification to repeat as often. Which setting should you adjust in Aruba Central? A. Report scheduling settings. B. Alert duration and threshold settings. C. The IDs policy setting, strict, medium, or lenient. D. The allow list settings in the IDs policy. Answer. B. 4. You are configuring gateway IDs, IPS settings in Aruba Central. For which reason would you set the fail strategy to bypass? A. To permit traffic if the IPS engine falls to inspect it. B. To enable the gateway to honor the allow list settings configured in IDs, IPS policies. C. To tell gateways to stop enforcing IDs, IPS policies if they lose connectivity to the Internet. D. To avoid wasting IPS engine resources on filtering traffic for unauthenticated clients. Answer. A. 5. How does Aruba Central handle security for site-to-site connections between AOS 10 gateways? A. It uses an Aruba proprietary integrity and encryption technologies to secure site-to-site connections, making them resistant to zero-day attacks. B. It automatically establishes IPsec tunnels for all site-to-site, all hubs and branches, connections using keys securely distributed by Central. C. It automatically steers traffic away from Internet-based connections to more secure MPLS connections to reduce encryption overhead. D. It automatically establishes simple-to-manage and highly secure TLS v1.3 tunnels between gateways. Answer. B. 6. A customer has an AOS 10 architecture, consisting of Aruba AP and AOS CX switches, managed by Aruba Central. The customer wants to obtain information about the clients, such as their general category and OS. What should you explain? A. The customer must deploy Aruba gateways in order to receive any client profiling information. B. You will need to set up Aruba Central as a secondary IP helper for client VLANs, but this will not interfere with existing operations. C. Aruba Central will automatically derive this information using telemetry from the Aruba devices. D. The customer should set up a dedicated switch VSX group to sniff packets and direct them to Aruba Central. Answer: C. 7. You are reviewing an endpoint entry in ClearPass Policy Manager, CPPM, endpoints repository. What is a good sign that someone has been trying to gain unauthorized access to the network? A. The entry shows multiple DHCP options under the fingerprints. B. The entry shows an unknown status. C. The entry shows a profile conflict of having a new profile of computer for a profiled printer. D. The entry lacks a hostname or includes a hostname with long seemingly random characters. Answer: C. 8. A customer has an AOS 10-based solution, including Aruba APs. The customer wants to use CloudAuth to authenticate NON 802.1x capable IoT devices. What is a prerequisite for setting up the device role mappings? A. Configuring a NetConductor-based fabric. B. Configuring device insight, client profile, tags in Central. C. Integrating Aruba ClearPass Policy Manager, CPPM, and Device Insight. D. Creating global role-to-role firewall policies in Central. Answer: B. 9. A customer has an AOS 10-based mobility solution, which authenticates clients to Aruba ClearPass Policy Manager, CPPM. The customer has some wireless devices that support WPA2 in personal mode only. How can you meet these devices' needs but improve security? A. Use MPSK on the WLAN to which the devices connect. B. Configure WIDS policies that apply extra monitoring to these particular devices. C. Connect these devices to the same WLAN to which 802.1x capable clients connect, using MAC auth fallback. D. Enable dynamic authorization, RFC 3576, in the AAA profile for the devices. Answer: A. 10. You want to use device insight tags as conditions within CPPM role mapping or enforcement policy rules. What guidelines should you follow? A. Create an HTTP authentication source to the central API that queries for the tags. To use that source as the type for rule conditions, added an authorization source for the service in question. B. Use the application type for the rule conditions. No extra authorization source is required for services that use policies with these rules. C. Use the endpoints repository type for the rule conditions. Add endpoints repository as a secondary authentication source for services that use policies with these rules. D. Use the endpoint type for the rule conditions. No extra authorization source is required for services that use policies with these rules. Answer: D.